calendars.
Hi!
Hello.
We are Malibu Essential Oils. This is Abby.
Hi.
And today we're talking about skin care, skin health, and anti-aging with essential oils. Right?
Yeah, so should we talk about skincare first?
Sure. We can talk about skincare. So one of the things that, we always deal with when people say, I have a skin issue, should I use essential oils? We're like, absolutely, let's try oils first, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times what people don't realize is that their bathroom, other than their cleaning cabinet, is like the most toxic room in the house. Yeah. Even the shower, right? And so a lot of times when people are having skin issues, they're actually reacting to a product that they're using to help their skin, supposedly, right? Because there's parabens and there's gluten, and the FDA doesn't have a system that is easy to ban certain chemicals, right? I think we talked about this
backwards.
Last one.
Yeah, we talked about that.
It's absolutely backwards, where in Europe you have to prove that you're safe to get on the approved list. So there's thousands and thousands of unapproved chemical ingredients, right? And then in the US, you can kind of throw anything at anybody as long as it says for topical use only. And then it has to be proven that it's dangerous. So there's like 12 things that you're not allowed to use. Right, unless people go like, no, this is mowing people down, then it just stays, right? And they don't care. So when people come to us and say, I'm having a skin reaction, one of the first things we do is say, let's not use what you're using and let's try the oils instead. So just like when we do a hand diffusion and we're going in to replace synthetics that are stuck to our exposed dendrites and in our sinuses, when we inhale it into our lungs, we're trying to swap out those synthetics. When we talked about hormones, we're talking about on the cell receptors that we want to swap out the xenoestrogens, which are synthetic estrogens that are in foods and plastics and things like that, with natural plant-based estrogens. This is the exact same process, right? Where our poor skin is just out there, and our face is just out there, just gluing on all of these things just from walking around.
And this is just, we're talking about like skincare, like your moisturizer or your serum, which might be synthetic, not even getting to the makeup you put on top of those synthetic, things you think are helping.
On this sheet, it mentions a website, an app called Think Dirty, and you can use that app to, it says according to the Think Dirty, I'm reading this, according to the Think Dirty app that rates products on their potential toxicity, they're all a 10 out of 10 on the dirty scale when it comes to top-selling brands of deodorant, sunscreen, hand sanitizer, and lotion. Right, so here we are.
Things that people buy when they go to CVS.
And things that they're going like, oh, I have a little rash, let me put this thing on there, and they're just layering synthetics on top of synthetics.
And closing the pores so that the skin can't breathe.
So clogged.
Yeah. And sunscreen's like the number one right now. It's finally coming up with all the stuff. They're like, don't use sunscreen, but it's because there's, synthetic sunscreens, you know, and you're causing more sun damage because you're putting these synthetics, which are causing skin to take on the heat, and it's just totally messing with you.
The ocean.
And the ocean,
it's so polluting the ocean, and it can't be filtered out.
All the coral reefs are slowly
it's a bummer.
dying away.
We're actually going to Costa Rica next week, and we are bringing our own sunscreen that we make. We sell it on our website, but if you want to make it, we make it with, there's a decent lotion. I'm sure there's better ones out there, but there's a decent lotion online called, actually doTERRA has a really nice unscented hand and body lotion. And then there's another brand that we use called Puracy. And then we whip that with zinc oxide, some lavender, and some helichrysum, because helichrysum has sunscreen components in it. And I wish Leanna was here, because Leanna is on the, she was on the Pepperdine volleyball team.
Yeah.
and she would use our sunscreen with and without like a 50. And she said with just the 50 SPF sunscreen, she would actually burn. And with just ours, or with ours and the 50, especially if she's going to be out there a long time, she wouldn't burn at all.
And she's very light skin.
Yeah,
she's very fair. She's a blondie.
Well, zinc is the number one. I mean, but if people are so vain, and when it comes to caring about their skin, they want to look good, and meanwhile they're going to not look so good later, because if they're not using zinc, which is like the best, it just looks really white when you put it on.
Well, and Earl, we came out with the perfect amount that if you do rub it a little bit, you know what I mean? It's going to just absorb right in.
Good.
Right, so we love that. Okay, so that is sunscreen, and really what we're trying to do with the oils is replace that toxicity on the surface of our skin, inside our body, which we'll talk more with Amy about that, but also that we're replacing these things in our medicine cabinet, in our purses, in our bathrooms, and the more of these little shifts we make, it starts to compound in our body. It'll be like, ooh, there's another natural substance instead of a synthetic substance, like one little thing at a time. So sunscreen is a really important one.
And just to build off that is just the fact that people get deterred when natural things don't work, but it's because a lot of the times they might be like, okay, well, I'm going to use this little natural product, but the rest of their stuff's all synthetic, and it's like, the oils, might try an oil and be like, oh, it's not working for me, but it's because you're putting it with all this synthetic stuff over it, and then it's just totally replacing any good that you're trying to do. So
the xenoestrogens are winning.
Yes, they're winning. And we become more sensitive to these substances as it goes along. So maybe you have like your favorite brand of sunscreen and it's never given you a problem. You copper toned your whole 20s out, and your 30s, and then all of a sudden, it's like, what is happening, right? Yeah. So it does change. Like I sort of lost my privileges with certain things because of the black mold, and you know what I mean? Like you just to get more and more sensitive. Now I'm 47, so I'll let you guys have a close up of my skin. That's what's really happening. I actually don't have any makeup on except for some eyebrows and lashes, so you can see
your features.
My actual features. And know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Okay, so tell me so you have tried on your skin what? She's young. Abby's super young, right? So, but everybody wants beautiful skin. So what have you tried?
Well, just one that I used today even is I use Melaleuca, which Melaleuca is tea tree oil. That's really good. So I used to get more acne, obviously when I was even younger, surprising. But now even when I do just a little bit on any bump or anything, it dries it out. And
you use that straight?
I use it.
Did you use straight?
I use it straight, but I've been using it for so long, so maybe my dilution level is, I
have to say, like for a pimple, I'll go ahead and use Melaleuca straight because I do want it to have that drying action.
Yeah, like oils are diluting it, it's just to make it maybe a little bit more oily. But yeah, Melaleuca is awesome.
For my hairline.
Really?
I use it straight.
Yeah, I use a lot of the oil straight on my skin after I wash and before I moisturize, right? So that's a really great time when everything's sort of open. I'll put the oil directly on, and then I will put on a moisturizer. Probably has more oils in it, right? Because we make all of our own stuff. We're actually in Susan Valdez Cohen's office. Susan is Malibu Aesthetics, right? Which we love. So when you look at my skin at my age now, there's a couple things. I am Asian, and Asian don't raisin that easily. Although if you look at the other people in my family, I'm winning. So something's definitely helping out. You know what I mean? Give me a natural glow. I don't have any kids either, so that helps too. And then
less stress.
Yeah, it is a lot less stress, right? But I also go to Susan, who does organic facials with microcurrent and LED lights, so they're totally natural. And actually here at the Malibu Healing Center, I was just shown by Dr. Sarah Murphy, who is Zuma Wellness, these new processes that she's doing where they'll actually take your own blood spin out the growth hormone and re-inject it into your face. So, I mean, I'm down to try it because it's natural. Yeah. It's my own substances and then that way the collagen will build in my face from my own growth hormones from my own blood. I'm down to try it. Wow. That's fine. All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The most important thing about the skin, though, is that it is the largest organ on your body.
Largest organ, so you can detox your skin, which is...
So what were we just talking about? The Korean spa.
Oh, they do this skin... exfoliant. It's like a major skin exfoliant.
They scrub you like you're a car.
Yeah. It's pretty gnarly. But
it's so gnarly.
You walk out there with like baby skin, and they're always like telling you, you gotta do this more often. You know, it's like going to the chiropractor. They're like, you gotta do this more often. But with this, especially because you think all those dead skin cells, and it's like you need to just keep rejuvenating those, and you're scrubbing your face maybe with a natural exfoliant, but like
I use a sea sponge.
Sea sponge.
What do you use to scrub it?
I use the Clarisonic.
Oh yeah, I have a Clarisonic.
Yeah.
I use for other things too.
Two brushes, one in the tub and one in the
Another class. Okay, so yeah, I do just a little bit of that. Do you do dry brushing?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Because the thing is, a lot of times when we're talking about skincare, people just want to know about the face, they want to know about the neck, right? But the skin is secondary to the liver.
Oh yeah.
For when and this is the other thing we want to talk about too, right? When you have a skin eruption or a weird, like, what's that rash? And Abby has a weird what's that rash on her hand right now. That we have tried several oils on, and since the oils aren't working, we're going to move on to an internal cleanse, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so tell us what you know about, skin and internal cleanse.
So I think that one thing that I always remind people of when they come to me with anything for
this is Amy Guerrero. She is a holistic health coach. Come here. Hi. Yay. Okay. Okay, so go ahead.
So when people come to me and they're like, I have this, or I have a rash, and actually I have two people I'm treating right now that have this weird rash on the right side of their arm and nowhere else. And we've tried oils, we've tried this, we've tried that, and I'm like, you guys, it's from the inside out. Yeah. And I tell them, it's pretty simple that, like, your body's been trying to get your attention for a while, and it's been kind of sick and, just not functioning the way it wants to, and it's finally screaming at you when you see it on your skin. Yeah. Because when it itches, when it's, on your skin,
we tend to ignore a lot of internal discomfort.
Absolutely.
We ignore digestional discomfort.
I'll power through.
Yeah. And when, like, even I had a massage today, and she was rubbing my feet, and she pushed this point. I'm like, ow! And she's like, that's your liver. I'm like, oh, okay. That makes sense. Earl's birthday was this weekend. I had a couple drinks. Like, it's a little unhappy with me. Totally. Right? But it by the time it gets to the skin, it's been an issue for a while.
Absolutely.
That's a big topic too, is liver, drinking, and then how it shows up on your skin.
Sugar.
Sugar, salt. Oh my God, so much inflammation with salt.
Yeah, it just depends on, and what we'll say is, like, there's a million ways that people will say do this, do that nutritionally, even with oils, right? And what we're really trying to help people navigate by sharing our own stories is for you to experiment. You have your own chemistry. Whatever is erupting on your skin, it's coming from something about you, right?
Absolutely. It's like everybody's a unique body. And what I think all of us really want people to take out of this, and why we're here and talking about this, is listen to your body.
Please.
Listen to your body. It's talking to you. And we talked about this in the hormone class. Instead of being mad at it and then getting angry with it and scrubbing it or popping it or trying to put 100 different kinds of chemical-ridden things on it. It's like, just sit back and listen. Like, what did I eat yesterday? Yeah. Or I had a party this weekend, and I don't know what was in the food. Yeah. And so then you start to come back around, and then you get to unravel. And that's a beautiful process that your skin will appreciate, and you'll be glowing from the inside out.
Yeah. I mean, this is all we've got.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that we mentioned right before this, which I think is really critical to remind ourselves, is like we can sort of transition now into anti-aging.
Yes.
Right? Is that every cell in your body is going to be replaced by a new cell in 1 year, including the brain, right? I know.
I don't know.
I
exactly.
know. No, I know that
the fact checked a little.
Yeah, well, let's check on that. But I have been reading about.
You can create new neural pathways.
Yes,
so
and that's something that I'm
to...
working on doing by feeding my mitochondria and like
Exactly.
certain supplements, certain light situations like
in your belly.
Yeah.
Everything.
So maybe not the brain. We'll double check on that.
Yeah.
But let's say most of your body is renewed in a year, right? Cells die and then new cells come. So we have this opportunity to. It's just like I think an easy way to think about this might be related to skin is your hair.
Oh yeah, for sure. The dead skin and your hair. And the health of your hair is such another thing to talk about, because that is the aging process, right? So many women come to me at the market and say their hair is falling out, and they're perimenopausal, menopausal. They're like, what do I do? And there's definitely an oil for that.
Yeah.
So we can create some tinctures for that. But the second thing I ask them is like, how are you eating? How much water are you drinking? How's your sleep? Because when the hair is unhealthy, then that, again, is the body talking to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if you have a year, right, to and Amy had a great idea of, like, starting on your birthday.
Yeah.
We have New Year coming up. That's a good marker to be like, okay, let me see if I love on my body, right? And in the topic of anti-aging, I would say the most effective shift that you can make is going from fighting against your body, where your mind is ruling your body and telling it like it can wait to eat, it can, sleep is for the weak, and all these crazy things that we do to our body to be in an abusive relationship, really, from mind to body, right? Absolutely. And the biggest shift I tell people to make is like, you need to fall in love with your body. Don't say stupid stuff to it that's mean and like, you're a miracle. Screw Absolutely. The size of your thighs. You know what I mean? Like, you are a miracle.
Perfect, exactly how you are.
You are so great. And so if you can enter into that love relationship, I always say, like, Earl is my husband, but my body is my wife, right? So if my body is my wife and Earl's my husband and they're both disagreeing, guess who wins? The wife, right? So because I need to have this nurturing relationship with my body where I don't say and do mean things to it, especially things I know it doesn't like, because if I were married to myself acting that way, I would divorce myself, or I would start screaming and kicking and causing a fuss, right? And that's what a skin eruption is. It's your body going like, I am fed up.
Absolutely. It is.
And I can't do it.
And you're not listening to me, so I'm going to put it like on your face or someplace where you're going to pay attention to me. Because I need to be heard and something needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And like exactly what I said. So when you love it, and you mentioned like taking that mile marker, it's like I have never lived in a long time, haven't lived in a place where there's so much sun. So like I watch things on my body just because I know I'm getting more sun, and I'm like, okay, I'm freckled. I have lots of freckles.
I have freckles too.
Yeah, so tons of freckles. So I can like watch a freckle. I'm like, okay, I need to apply more of my homemade sunblock there. And even when I'm driving, I'm getting the sun there. So it's like, pick something to love, and it will start to love you back, and the wrinkles fade. And we can talk about the oils too, just to shift your perception, to find an oil that spot's going to be attached to, and you diffuse that oil, and you remind yourself, or you're applying the oil. And that's a great way, because the oils are talking directly to the limbic system, to get you to go like, oh right, actually, I'm going to undo that, I'm going to unravel it. I love myself. My wife is going to be taken care of today.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm going to be a provider. My wife is going to be beautiful.
Yeah, totally.
Now, okay, with speaking of bergamot, we'll give you one major tip with the oils, and this is pretty common knowledge with people who use essential oils. You don't want to put citrus oils directly on your skin and then go out into the sun. Right? So you basically want to use your citrus oils, which are good for your skin at night. And great for your liver. So let's have a citrus oil break. Yeah, so liver flushing is going to help to cleanse your skin, right?
Absolutely.
Because if we can support the liver, it's not going to start kicking out toxins to wherever it can go, right? So the easiest thing, if you don't have any oils, and people go like, I have no oils, I want to spend $10, what should I get? Get doTERRA lemon oil, okay? Because doTERRA lemon oil will help to start to support the cleanse of the liver, right? So
Absolutely.
1 or 2 taps in water. The other thing about citrus oils,
Drinking glass.
only in glass. This is paper. Don't do it. Or stainless steel, right?
Stainless steel glass.
Even though this is paper, it's got a plasticky coating in it, and citrus oils dissolve plastics,
Yep.
right? So
And
they'll
so you're
do it,
drinking it.
and you're going to end up drinking it.
And then you're getting the estrogen.
Xenoestrogens,
Xeno,
yeah.
Yes.
The one talking about freckles, I get this sun mustache, which is made of freckles.
Yeah.
But it hits me right here, and it's not cute. It's not cute.
What do
And
you use
I
on?
don't wear face makeup. You know, I don't like put on foundation. So
None of us wear makeup. Yeah.
No.
We all just have nice skin because
Nah.
we're good to our bodies and we're
Smell
nice.
it. Yeah, so what I do is I wash my face. And here's the other thing too, is like you can just get to know 1 or 2 oils and see. Like my friend Nan Centullo, hi Nan, she just started with frankincense. She's like, Sin, the glow. I'm like, I know, right? So after I wash, I put frankincense all over, right? Because I love me some Frankie, or Immortelle, which is a blend we can talk about.
Yeah.
And then I put a little bit of lemon with the frankincense right here. And then that's at night. And then I moisturize. I did it for about a week straight, and this little freckle mustache faded.
Oh, totally. And that's why we say don't wear the oils in the sun, because then you'll actually have a white mark there if you have the lemon on your face and you go out to the sun.
It would darken.
Oh, darken it.
It darkens.
The heat.
Yeah.
The sun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, who was it they said they touched the
Oh,
bergamot bottle to
Lyra.
their nose, and it left.
She had
Then
like
she
a
went out into the
Rudolph.
sun, and then she got this little circle right where she had touched the
That's so
bergamot
funny.
to her nose, and she's Latina,
Yeah.
so it really did it to her.
And you also mentioned putting the oils on your face, so we should talk a little bit about carrier oils too.
Yes. Okay. So.
Collagen.
Yeah, really important thing about when we wanted to penetrate tissue. So anything we wanted to do with the skin,
Yes.
we need to dilute it, right? And that's why when I say I put it straight, but then I put the carrier on, that sort of makes the, put a moisturizer on or carrier, that makes it go in.
Yeah, and so like I use coconut oil just like after I take a shower. The first thing while my pores are all open, I just in the bathtub I lather the coconut oil on, and then it's a perfect carrier oil for the oils. So I'm working on some those little cellulite things. On the
Oh, are
back
you
of my
doing
butt.
something sassy?
So no, I'm doing cypress on those too because it brings the blood flow to the area.
Okay.
And so I'm actually.
Is it working?
Yeah. Well, Daniel said something about it, so I was like, he noticed. Yeah. So
He
it's
knows her
working.
butt.
Check out
Yeah.
on the beach.
Yeah, because I want. That's one thing that's hard to tell. You gotta like really get in there to look. But yeah, so I started a little ritual with the oils.
That's
for
so
it.
great.
Yeah.
Now here now for
Great.
cellulite, I use grapefruit and or Slim and Sassy, but she's using cypress, right? And it's working for her.
Juniper
She
berry.
has a juniper berry.
Geranium.
Yeah.
Would geranium be considered? Because that's anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, and it brings the same blood flow. They have similar qualities.
Yeah. So you see how like because we're healing artists and we all we have a ton of oils. I can show you my little oil kit, but anyway, so we sort of use what we have and go through our book and see. Can I show them that book?
So
Yeah.
coconut oil is one of the carrier oils that you can
Yes,
use.
and coconut oil comes in a lot of forms,
Absolutely.
right? So
Yeah.
full fat.
Which is what you're used to seeing at the grocery store that you cook with the lauric acid, which the lauric acid is great for the skin, great for inflammation of the body, for
And
the immune
it's
system.
very nicely antibacterial and a little cleansing in that
and
way.
a little sunblock too.
Yeah, it's got a
Yeah.
little sunblock. Another carrier oil that we use, and then the second way you can use a coconut oil is fractionated coconut oil, right? So fractionated coconut oil is without the solids. And so it's liquid at room temperature. It has no smell of its own, so it's really fun for blending the scents that you want together.
Yeah.
and it really absorbs nicely without a greasy feel.
It's muted. I'd say it's just like it doesn't really do that, but it does the job that it needs to do.
Yeah.
And it has a longer shelf life, right?
Yeah, it has it's very shelf stable. That being said, the other shelf stable oil is, can you grab that jojoba oil that's is jojoba
What were you
oil.
telling me last time about jojoba? It's not a...
So jojoba is nice for people with if they have nut allergies, because then almond oil, even coconut, they might have an allergic reaction. Jojoba oil, which, you want to get a nice organic one. We're in Susan's office, so I'm just showing some of the stuff that she carries. Yeah, she has it. doTERRA doesn't have jojoba oil, so this is from the jojoba company, and I would definitely trust Susan's sourcing. But the nice thing about it is it's a wax.
Oh, that's what you're saying. It's a wax. So it's like beeswax when it starts, and then they boil it or something?
I am not entirely sure, but what that means is it doesn't have the same, like if you have a nut allergy, you can't use almond oil, mac nut oil, you know what I mean?
Right.
Jojoba oil is a great thing. It's very, very stable, so it can last a long time on the shelf. Right?
Yeah.
And it absorbs really well, and for some people it works great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually some reason prefer jojoba oil in my massage oil. I don't know why. And those things that we can't explain. Like, why do I prefer,
And it's that day, right? Like this year.
Yeah, exactly. My last blend that I made for my frozen shoulder, I made with jojoba, and it's going really well.
You have that good experience, and then you want more.
Yeah, and then what happened? Why did I use jojoba? Because that's the one that was on my desk at the time, and I thought, I'll use jojoba, right? So sometimes it's a little random. Another carrier oil that we like to use is almond oil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use it.
Yeah. So it's got
you know what that's great for? Sorry. Yeah, but dark circles under the eyes. Sweet almond oil is so good for that. I don't know exact science. Oh, there you go.
It's what?
You've been saying
it's a collagen booster, right?
Yeah, so I guess it helps to fill in that little, when we get tired, when we've had those late nights. I've been putting it under my eyes every night with a little bit of oils. And
that's great if it helps her with that. But let's not forget, dark circles under the eyes is like, it's an adrenal fatigue issue.
Totally, which
you know what I mean?
Inside out.
Yeah,
too.
that's an inside out issue as well.
Yeah, I mean, just because it is all the talk on Facebook, and right now they're like, dark circles, Dr. Oz or somebody must have gotten a hold of it. So everyone's talking about dark circles.
And using almond oil for that?
And using different things. Everyone has a solution right now. So
you're
probably seeing
when we talk about which oils are best for skin, right? We go straight to the oils that they resin oils, which is like frankincense, myrrh, new is copaiba, right?
Oh,
Anything that was found in the Tutankhamun's tomb that they used to help preserve the sarcophaguses for like thousands of years, right? And they were able to do autopsies on them thousands of years later because they were embalmed in oils like sandalwood, myrrh, frankincense. So if it can preserve dead skin,
or these trees that have lasted for so long and been through so many things, like the tree's still there kicking,
right? The part of the reason why resin oils, like frankincense, it's really important that you get them from where they're grown indigenously, which is in like horrible conditions in the desert in the Middle East, is because that compound has to fight to survive, to find moisture, right? And the worse the conditions, the better that oil is for your skin.
And that's why we love doTERRA too. And Abby touched on it as well, like where your oils come from. Like you can be using the oils, but you're using all these other things and you're not seeing the results. The same thing as if you're using an oil that didn't have to fight as hard, that didn't have to work as hard, that wasn't sourced the way it was, then you're not getting the results and you're like, oh, I'm never doing oils again.
Yeah. Can we talk about that for a second? So we love doTERRA. We're certified aromatherapists, so we know dozens of brands of oils. We freaking love stupid doTERRA so much. So tell and you can choose one of us to be your mentor so that you can buy your oils at wholesale, and then you'll get one of us to teach you what to do with them. So, it's great. Amy is a holistic health coach. I mean, you hear how many resources she has, and she loves to use the oils, right?
Absolutely.
So what's your handle?
Oh, it's Oils Transformed. Or no, it
So
isn't.
it's
It's mydoterra.com/oils transform. I never know when that question's coming. She just hits me with it. mydoterra.com/oils transform.
We're mydoterra.com/Malibu. And then Abby, come here. Let's talk about your funny finger.
Nose rose.
Here. Let's swap.
We should
There's
also
only
talk
room for
about
two.
my name and the oil that's in my name.
That's right.
Yes.
Nose
That's
Nose to
okay.
rose.
Yeah. So
Copaiba? What?
I call it cocaiba. I don't know.
I'm doing Copaiba.
Oh.
From-
I listened to Dr. Hill the other day. He
says
said cocaiba.
He said Copaiba, but I think like the guy on the video that sourced it said Copaiba, so I'm going with him.
Okay.
You know, because he's got the
You
accent.
have a different accent than she does.
Mhm.
But my handle is mydoterra.com/nose to rose.
Okay, so first we talked about the resins, frankincense, myrrh, copaiba, right? The other great oils for skin are also flowers.
Yep. So,
All right.
Yeah.
So rose now available in touch form. Now, what? Go ahead,
There's
ask me.
that story with the woman who.
Oh, the rashes.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
doTERRA, one of the lead ladies,
Emily Wright.
She was talking about how her kids went into a bounce house and they all came out with
Mysterious
staph-
skin eruptions.
Yeah, it was like a staph infection or
We're
something.
not allowed to say staph infection,
Oh,
but yes,
sorry.
that's okay.
But
Some
mysterious
weird,
rashes.
nasty rash that came from a bouncy house.
Yeah, and
that
she
happens in
used.
hospitals all the time.
Yes.
It's crazy. She used rose though, and
Yes.
it totally mended that.
Well, she tried a
situation.
whole bunch of things 1st,
Mhm.
and then the rose wasn't even out, so she called and they were like, "Hey, we've got this," and then.
Yeah, and that's the
Miracle
thing, you
story.
know, when
I
you
know,
have
Those
really,
poor kids.
I know.
Lucky kids got bathed in rose.
Well, they've got people who know how to use essential oils in their lives, right? Otherwise, they're going to get antibiotics and doing all this crazy stuff, which then will upset their gut and totally destabilize their interior environment, which they'll have to rebuild, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which most people don't think about. I mean, they're just going for some topical
yeah.
solution.
Because
They'll
if you
take.
can't see it again, then they think it's solved, but the problem is still happening.
That's right. So that being said, Abby has this weird rash on her finger.
You're outing your rash. That's really
I'm outing her rash
Right here.
because we've started with oils, right? So what have we tried on that?
We've tried a lot of things. So first we tried a blend. It was a doTERRA blend, but it's very
HC Clear.
HD clear. It's very difficult, this positioning, because anything I put on, I'm washing my hands and then my Band-Aid gets messed up or the oil comes off, so it's just been really hard to gauge. So that was our first try. Nothing seemed to happen with that.
Mm-hmm. We did rose. We did two or three
rose.
different
Yeah,
blends.
rose. We did rose, juniper berry.
Yeah.
What was the second one? There was another.
We tried all the killers.
Oh, we
in
tried
case it was
sex
fungal.
mix on it.
We tried sex mix on it.
Yeah, we tried a lot of things.
because it has a lot of flowers in there.
And
Then she tried the steroid cream.
Yeah.
That was and it worked, right? So she
I know,
tried the
it's
steroid
sad.
cream from don't be sad.
I know, that's true.
All we know, right, is that this is not a topical problem. Because if it was just a topical problem,
Right.
the oils probably would have made it go away, right? The steroids is much stronger as far as a topical solution. But now
Came back.
we got to deal
Still.
with, she still has
It's
it.
still
the
going
steroid
away.
didn't really
So
do
it
it.
just calmed it down.
It
'cause
just
it's so
calmed it down
important.
because it was inflamed. It was some sort of, it seemed like an eczema or something that could have been brought on with stress, specifically, which brings us all back into that, realm of how stress affects skin. But, I definitely have been researching a lot of internal stuff. There's the
You're
cleanse,
gonna do the
Cleanse and
cleanse.
restore.
the
yeah.
cleanse and restore.
Or we could even just start you with the Zendocrine cleanse. So the Zendocrine we've talked about a couple times. That is a liver detox.
Mhm.
So that and some lemon,
tastes
we
great.
can always start there because we're all guinea
Really?
pigs.
It's really good.
Yeah. She I am so I take it in capsule form and then I rub it on topically. Right? And I know we're going through a lot of stuff. We're just showing you, there's all these different things. If you're willing to experiment, and even, regular pharmaceuticals, you're experimenting with your cocktail.
Yeah.
And
And doctors
even-
experimenting with that everybody's a unique body because they don't know how it's going to
No, at least notice with the oils, we can open them up. Like this is geranium. Oh, that smells nice to me today. Strong.
It's very strong.
It's super strong.
So like floral and fruity.
Yeah, so for her to say it's like very strong and for me to say strong, right, I would probably dilute it for me down to like 50% or 25% oil. And where she's saying very strong, as an aromatherapist, I would probably dilute it down to 10% or less for her, right? So we're different. She's having a stronger reaction.
Can I know one other thing?
Yes, of
so
course.
I obviously, as you were saying, we're all like experimenting, and I've obviously been doing a lot of WebMD, trying to figure it out for myself. But
That's how I figured out my frozen shoulder.
recently I was looking into Candida, which is yeast overgrowth. So Candida is like the #1 yeast material in our body, and it can come out with rashes as one of the fatigue, digestion problems, but rashes are one of the issues, and that has a lot to do with, Candida can grow in any part of your body, but sometimes it can really grow in your gut. And one of the things that's, during a Candida cleanse is you kill it, and so a lot of times people take some sort of, antibiotic to kill the yeast or whatever. But a lot of the times, like you were saying, it kills everything.
You gotta
and
restore.
then you have to restore, and that's why they start telling you the probiotics. So it's like the same with the oils can help you restore in a lot of ways. So it's like you might kill it or you might do damage taking like this antibiotic cream that I've been doing. I've been trying to use like an oil on top of it as well, or underneath it, because I know the antibiotic cream will penetrate and kill it, but maybe the oil will help it like add in some, some good phytoestrogens as well. So I think that second part is just as important as the killing.
It's like we put lime oil in our margaritas and let them
battle it out. Yeah.
Sort of balance it out a little bit, like another one of the carrier oils that we use, and I use it in the lash grow, and it's very difficult to source a pure one. Yeah, is the prickly pear oil, right? Because you think about it, like these are desert flowers. There's no water, and there's this big, sweet, luscious, ripe fruit. The oil actually comes from the itty bitty seeds that they have to pick out and then press the oil out of.
Hassle.
But that particular oil is so hydrating and moisturizing. It has such a light, clean feel, and it's so safe, safe for babies, but not stable at all. That's why
in the fridge.
I always have it in the fridge, and I sell Lash Grow in these teeny tiny bottles that last 3 to 4 months, because that oil is really only stable for like 9 months, maybe a year if it's not too hot out, right? So that's something to consider too when we're creating our dilution levels with these carrier oils.
Right.
So we'll start her now on a liver cleanse, right? So that we can see, because we don't just want to topically steroid this thing and it'll go away. And it's really not. It
will come back. It might be subsided for a little bit, but there's still, traces of it. It's not gone.
The great thing about what you're about to do too is that if you do have a hankering that it might be Candida and you don't want to get tested, the Zendocrine tabs in the Clean and Restore kit are known. Those are the exact same oils that they use for Candida cleansing.
Really? Yeah, because I was looking into those as well.
The GX Assist too. The GX Assist, so there's a 30-day cleanse and restore.
20% off.
Oh yeah, it's 20% off right now.
Yeah, that's a bomb deal.
If you don't have your oils yet, please just PM one of us, so that we can help you get what you need, tell you how to do it. We're sort of rapid firing today, just conversing about how we do things. But we would really love to talk to you individually so that you can get on board with being a healing artist, right?
Yeah.
So when you get a membership with us, you'll get 2 free hours of consultation about oils from us. Do you offer that?
Yes.
Oh, so Amy also offers that, right? And that is a wealth of knowledge for no money. You can't even get the session for that much less the session and the oils, right?
Oh.
So we really encourage you to use this as a resource, because the education that's out there, or what you read from brand to brand, it's really difficult to decipher what's really going on. And
we encourage you to listen to your body.
Yeah,
the thing is, everybody's a unique body, and when we're personalizing it to our mentors and our mentees' needs, that transforms everything.
Yeah,
It just
it's
does.
not our way or the highway. It's
No.
like, please tell us what you think. It's not personal when you go, ooh, I don't like the smell of that blend. Like, we need to know these things, and we need to hear it about each other, right? The other thing I think is really important about, I'm going to say agelessness instead of anti-aging. You know what I mean? Where it's like, now that I'm 47, I feel much better than I did when I was 37. But I'm not 37 again. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that my body is maturing in a way. But I'm finding this sort of like ageless bubble, right? Where I feel younger, I feel more vital, but at the same time I'm looking at my skin and seeing what it's trying to communicate with me. I'm dehydrated, I have no pink, I have no color, you know what I mean? Like, these little things that I am tuning into this wife of a body and saying, like, what do you need today, honey? You know, and when you have that relationship, I think that you do find an agelessness because it's not always trying to communicate to you its latest, greatest issue.
Well, you're in the moment with your body, which is like the beautiful thing, right? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I reverted back to like onesies and taking a bath.
Oh,
I love that. I never take a shower. I only take baths.
Wonderful.
But I get to listen to my body. Like, even when I wash my hair, like, I'm traveling and people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, I have a cup and I wash my hair with the clean one.
No.
Can I tell you though, and this was a classic battle between mind and body. I know because I have some inflammation in my body right now, and I am working on some this frozen shoulder before going to Costa Rica, where there's going to be surfing and whitewater rafting, right? That I have been submerging in cold water. Our bathtub is outside. So we take a hot bath at night with Epsom salt. We don't scrub or use salt in there. We take showers for that. And then we just let it sit there and get ice cold overnight. And then I've been dunking myself in this cold water for an anti-aging mitochondrial feed effect. And when I go in and the water's like 60 degrees, right, my brain is going like, no, we can't have it. My body's going like, oh, this feels so good. It's exactly what I need, right? And when you're in that little battle between your mind and your body, if you want to find this agelessness zone,
Drop in.
go with the body.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go with the body, you know, and that's something that if you tune into that and you have that communication and that love for the body even as it ages.
Yeah.
Then you create the ageless bubble, and you're in the moment with your body, so there's a whole lot less judgment in the prefrontal cortex going on, right?
Yeah.
Because you're in your heart. And that's like, we talk about that almost every show.
And that's when you hear things, and you'll hear us all talking, you know, any one of us, you'll hear one sentence and go like, oh, that sentence stuck, right? That is your body encouraging your mind, like, take that little nug and let's run with that, you know, because there's so much noise out there. I encourage people to, like, when that bell rings inside the body, to really listen to that truth bell, you know, because it's important.
And just one other thing to go with the mind is that just to falsify some of those thoughts that you're having, or, you know, the ones like, oh, this aging, you know, I can't take the bath, I can't do that, is one of the number one things is the way we're aging now is not really how you're supposed to be aging. All this food that we're eating and like our environment and making us all inflammation everywhere is causing all these things like arthritis and Alzheimer's and all these different conditions that we think are just, oh, this is what happens when you age and when you get older, but that's just society that's implanted that in your mind, and that's just when you get in that bath and the mind starts talking, it's like the mind is just, you know, a whole, it's convoluted, is that the right word?
Yeah.
It's like convoluted and has all these like thoughts in there that, you know, that aren't even based off of true facts. Like the number one thing, we're not supposed to age this awfully, you know, we're supposed to age in a nice natural way, and it's
in the Chinese Taoist tradition, they base a lot of the medicine off of, okay, so you're going to live 120 years. This is, you know, how you take care of your body. Like, the assumption was that we would live to be 120. And really, the issue now is too much of everything, right? Like, so if you buy one little jar of face cream and look at the ingredients and they're in like 4-point type and it's like 10 rows, when you could be using like frankincense and melaleuca and some coconut oil,
which
you know what I mean?
in that jar will have 1,000 chemicals, and then it'll also say frankincense, coconut. But those things are just having all the chemicals over them. You know?
So you really want to think like less is more. You know, eat less, drink less, like do less.
Less for your body to react to and have to work against if it is something negative. You know.
Yeah. My last super, do you have to swap out? My last super anti-aging tip is zero gravity. Oh. So so basically when I say zero gravity is you want to find tiny opportunities to be in zero gravity, right? So anytime we're doing, like, I have a little mini trampoline for this, right? So that little bubble of right before you're at the top and coming down, there's a little moment of zero gravity in there. And so if you jump on that trampoline, 100 times,
and
then
you're
engaged, and it is fun.
Totally.
Zero gravity is a blast. There's nobody that's in zero gravity that says, this sucks.
It's super fun.
Yeah, like people are paying tons of money to be in like those space chambers and stuff like that. But actually they use zero gravity for, here's the thing, when astronauts come in from outer space, they look like hell because they've been in zero gravity for so long, and then they come to gravity and they just are like
hold down,
hang dog, right? And so they'll continue to use like the mini trampoline and stuff to acclimate themselves to being get back into gravity and zero gravity. So a little trampoline, a little jump rope,
and inversions. Inversions are just so great for the skin, for calming the body. Releasing even just legs up the wall, you guys. Like, I can't do a handstand. That's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Put, lay down flat, put your legs up against the wall.
Yeah.
Have your diffuser going.
Even if you can just get your head lower on an incline than the rest of your body and get more blood flow to your head and your face, your skin will actually look better.
You look amazing.
Yeah.
You look at people, why do the yoga glow?
It's totally about blood flow going into that inverted place, right?
Totally.
So that's one little tip that's outside of oils, right? Anything else you want to add?
I love just that we've been talking about being good to your body. Like, love your body, you guys. And, find good mentors to help you do that. And, don't be afraid to try new things. Like, we're out there. I mean, I watch people I had to go to CVS for Halloween stuff, and, people buy so much makeup. And I'm like,
I know.
What if it's not the right color?
I'm trying to figure out the makeup thing. Yeah.
And so, invest in some oils. They're 100% going to serve you. And if they're not serving you today, they're going to serve you sometime in your life.
Yeah, it's really great. We have 2 slogans because I couldn't decide for our company. One is put your health in your hands, right? Which is both literal and figurative. Like, go ahead and grab it. It's your body. You know what's going on. The doctor who meets you for 15 minutes, God bless them. They are working off of very little information and stuff.
If you told them the truth.
If you told them the truth and can verbalize and maybe shows up in a test, right? Like, you're with this being all the time. Absolutely. And if you don't have a good relationship, it's really nobody's business but your own, right? Yeah. And in this case, as we talk about anti-aging and skincare, go ahead and let vanity guide you, right? Because what we say is love your body naturally. So if you're willing to be like I said, I'll try this, suck the blood out of me and put my blood back, my growth cells back in my face. As long as it's mine, I'm down for it, right? I'll try it because I'm vain, but I'm not going to do a lot of shooting poisons in my face that they haven't done enough testing on, or scraping things off or cutting them and stuff. I'm gonna avoid that. I'll let you know.
Or even on a lesser note, if your body's talking to you through your skin, then it's time to just take a step back, listen, and at the end of the day, we don't want pimples on our face. No one does.
No, and not that I'm against plastic surgery. I've had a little bit. I did my eyes done, but pre and post care, you know what I mean? And certainly
yeah.
trying oils first before you do something like that.
Absolutely.
Oils first.
Yeah, always.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See you later.
Ciao.